I wanted to be a VSO volunteer for about the last 10 years of my life. I went away and independently volunteered for a while just to see how that felt. Went back to the UK and decided that I wanted to go back into the development world, and I needed to find out where I wanted to sit. Did I want to work for big INGOs or did I want CBOs or somewhere in the middle? And so volunteering through the VSO seemed like a good way. It would put me in positions which I wouldn't be able to get to independently. And the VSO had a brand to me. It stood for something, and that from the selection process, just meeting old volunteers who were talking about their days, it just built on that image for me. The organisation I work for is a CBO, community-based organisation. So they've grown themselves, but they've not really had management experience. The interaction with bigger INGOs has been their past history, but INGOs and donors change and their demands have grown. And so part of my job is to show them what the West and some of the other organisations who are funding them, the sort of information interaction they now need. Well, I suppose the most recent activity I did was about over 6 or 7 months was collecting data for the Ministry of Education. Basically, I hired a team of local Burmese to interview students and teachers in every migrant school in this area, which is 61 schools. So we interviewed over 10,000 students and 500 teachers and put that electronically in Thai. It gave that to the Ministry of Education, and that has never happened before. There's never been any database system on students or teachers. So now we've got a baseline where the Ministry of Education and organisations like the one I work for, we can use that to understand what the real problems are, because before we've only been guessing. So now we have some hard facts, and although it was painful and hard work, it's been worthwhile. So, languages, I had a head start. I used to work in Bangkok for a couple of years, studied Thai for a bit. So when I arrived, I was able to brush the cobwebs off that and build on that. I started to learn Burmese, but decided that actually I don't need to use Burmese in my office, because actually I can speak English to most people, and the two people that don't understand me, I can speak Thai to them. I'm cycling for the first time in 20 years, which is interesting. And I don't get my bicycle stolen, whereas I used to in London, so that's a different aspect. But you know, the social atmosphere is brilliant. You go around people's houses and you just relax and chill. We have another volunteer and I set up a movie night because there's no big cinema here, so we get a projector, somebody's wall, and we watch a movie and eat popcorn and occasionally maybe a glass of this or that. But it's very sociable. If you want to be on your own, you can. If you want to be in a big group, you can. If you want to mix with the community, you can. It's literally the right size to do anything you want. And I'm a city boy. I've never moved out of a city all my life, whichever country in the world it's been. So this is a new change for me, and how to say it, there's something for everybody here, it really is. A bicycle was a great find, because if I'm in the real feisty mood, I can get from one end of town to the other in about 10 minutes. Otherwise, if I need to go out to some of the schools, I need to take the motorbike. So for a guy that never ridden a motorbike ever in his life, the training in Britain certainly proved useful. It's a great thing to get to further away places and see some things slightly outside of town, like the waterfalls and some of the surrounding countryside. I've already asked to extend my placement, and it's taken me in the right direction, and I'm not finished yet. You know, we're in places with lots of other people with lots of different backgrounds and experience, and you can't get that sitting in your chair in your office back wherever you live. And most of my friends are extremely jealous, so yeah, get on the plane.